What's cooking, Juventus fans? Welcome back to your old lady's favorite YouTube channel. Today we continue on the journey that is the whirlwind of emotions of Matthias de Ligt. He's leaving. Where's he going? Bayern, Chelsea. Will somebody else come up in the whole process of this thing? As well as who is going to end up replacing him? Zaniolo too. We'll cover it all in today's edition of the news. Stick with us. We'll fill you in. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back to the Beyond Canary Zone. My name is Justin Sofro. Today, it's Thursday. It is July 7th, 2022. And of course, I got your latest rundown of all things Juventus. All the news you care about each and every day. Make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. Now let's just jump into it. What news do we have for you today? All right, let's get started. The very first one up is talking about Zaniolo. What's going on with the updates with him? Well, last night, Alfredo Padula tweeted out, just to give you an update, saying that today, Zaniolo's agent will present Juve's first offer to Roma. So we will start this whole courtship of everything that needs to go down to finally seal the deal to try to get Zaniolo. My guess is obviously the first offer is never going to be good enough because this is a deal that they can drag this out for a little bit longer, though I don't think it'll go on for too long. I think Roma really want to get this done as quickly as possible. Let's continue on to the second part of this, which Romeo Gresti Gol Italia reported saying that Roma like Zaccaria, and he could be possibly included in a deal. However, Juve values Zaccaria around more than 20 million euros, Roma around 10 million euros, which is absolutely absurd. The first offers could be Zaccaria plus 25 million euros. Roma want at least 30 million euros. And yeah, I think right now, the situation, it's just ridiculous and absurd that Roma are acting like Zaccaria is a second-class citizen at this point. Zaccaria, his value has definitely gone up since Juve purchased him, and I definitely don't see them moving him along for a price so low that they would do that. Romeo Gresti continues on, though, talking about the situation, saying that Juventus and Roma talked about Zaccaria, but there's a big difference in the valuations that both clubs have. As he said, Roma want cash and no players. The loan with an obligation is the most likely direction. There are also reports that Roma wanted 40 mil for Zaccaria, for Zaniolo, which obviously is lower than the 50. I don't know if that's 40 on top of something. I don't know if that's whatever. But if you can get him for 40 million euros, I think that's a fair price, especially if you do a 10 million euro loan and then 30, which is going to be split in 15 and 15. I've been talking about that for a long time here on the channel, saying that I think 40 euros spread out is a suitable price range for that. All right, let's continue on, talk about the other situations going on with Juventus, especially the bigger ones that we're going to get to at the end of the show. All right, first up, we got to talk about Moise Kean now, who Sport Italia is reporting that there's a possibility that he will stay at the club. Not a lot of options. I think somebody, I can't remember, somebody remind me, but I can't recall off the top of my head if it was either Fabrizio Romano or somebody like that who reported just basically confirming. I think either it was West Ham, Nottingham Forest, one of those. Just basically the rumored interest in him is just kind of fabricated, maybe by Italian newspapers, Italian journalists, try to move him or trying to maybe raise his value, whatever it is. So supposedly there's really not a lot of buyers out there for him right now, unless, maybe PSG come back to the table. So there's a chance he could be staying with the club. All right, let's continue on, though, and talk about another player. Juventus finally made a signing. Here we go. It's a youth player that probably nobody cares about. Done deal. Romeo Gresti confirms done deal. Juventus have completed the signing of Kenan Yildiz. He is a Turkish player. I think he's 17 years old. There you go. I got nothing for you. We're not doing a here we go for this. I'm sorry. It's not here we go live worthy, but there you go. All right, let's continue on. And then we can talk about Juventus are re-upping when it comes to Molina. Mo money. Molina, here we go. Not here we go. I wish it was a here we go. Nicola Balice reporting saying that Juve are moving for Molina, regardless of what Quadrado's fate may be. Negotiations started with a proposal of 15 million euros plus bonuses. Udinese want more, really double that. They want 30 million euros. And then continue off that, we have that kind of same sentiment shared by Corriere dello Sport, say that Juventus are back in for Molina and are ready to offer about 15 million euros plus bonuses. Udinese, however, 130. So this is where it's going to start out. Obviously, we know Juventus have good relationships with the family that owns Udinese, and the situation goes along there. So there's a chance that they could come down and find an agreement. I think they do want to move Molina in this Mercado. Of course, Udogi would be my top option, but it seems like he's going to stay for another season, playing different sides, obviously, there in the fullback position. But It'll be interesting just to see what kind of final number they can come to an agreement with, and really how long do they drag this thing out. We know Zaniolo's at the top of the list right now, and then I would imagine right after that will be the situation where we decide what happens with the Ligt, and it comes with his replacement potentially. And when I say potentially, it's inevitable, right, at this point. But at the same time, after that one, would that be Molina? Would that be who will you? I mean, and I know Cambiaso's in there as well. Cambiaso should be really done by now, okay? So Cambiaso should be before Zaniolo, if we're being honest. All right, let's get into the main meat of this video, and that's what we're going to talk about right now. Everything that's going on, all the updates, the situation as it stands when it comes to Matthias de Ligt. Where does he want to go? Where does the Pretty Princess get to decide? Does he want to go to the EPL? Does he want to go to the German league, right? Here we go. So let's talk about that right now. Opening it up, we have Gazzetta dello Sport, who is reporting that Bayern are ready to offer 75.5 or plus 5 million euros bonuses, a bit better than Chelsea's 70 plus 10 million euros. Juventus want more, and the feeling is that they will accept 85 to 90 million euros, which, yeah, I agree. I think if I'm Juve, I really don't want to come below six figures, but if you have 6 million figures, so that not six figures, that's a million, that's 100,000. I mean, I guess 9 figures. You don't want to come below 9 figures. That's what I was trying to say. All right. So we'll see what can happen. All right. Continue off of that, Fabrizio Romano, of course, is going to push him toward the EPL because he is the Premier League fan himself. Says that Juventus expect Chelsea and Bayern to submit official bids for Matthias de Ligt. No agreement yet, but de Ligt is close to leaving. Meeting today for Koulibaly. Not easy on the player side, but Juve want him. Barca was his main priority. Juve now exploring many options. So obviously, we're going to get into that. We're going to talk about the Koulibaly side of this after we get through the de Ligt side right now. But as it stands right now, it looks like Bayern are starting to surge a little bit when it comes to this whole situation. I guess... Okay, before I even... I'll read through it here in just a sec. But here's my main opinion. If you're Juventus and you're looking at this Mercado right now, if there's a possibility or a way you can get this deal done where he ends up going to Chelsea over Bayern and you end up making the same kind of money, that's the way that I would go about it. Mainly because, Chelsea are out there trying to replace a center back. They have Rudiger left on a free. They need a center back regardless. So might as well let them have de Ligt. Otherwise, they're going to come full steam ahead for Koulibaly. Okay, maybe not full steam ahead. He's probably a couple down on the rung on their list. But if they can't get those other guys, they're also going to be a competition for Koulibaly as well. And if I'm Juventus, I don't really want that kind of competition right now, to be honest. I don't want those prices to be jacked up even more. They have to be, and I don't want to potentially lose out on a top-tier target when you're selling your top-tier player right now. All right. Let's continue on with that. What de Ligt continues to say, Mirko De Natale reports saying Juve will not go below the 90 million euro bar for de Ligt, which they shouldn't. The intention of Bayern, already in agreement with the player, is to get closer to the Bianconeri's demands. No official offer from the Bavarians yet, but it's only a matter of time. And then I think we have 2 more since that news came out. We have a couple more updates. And I apologize, I'm working through the timeline right now. Romeo Guidetti and Golitalia say that Bayern are serious and are working on an agreement with the player to lower the price. Juventus have been clear, they only want cash. And if I'm Juventus, I stick with that. Only cold hard cash, baby. That's what we want. We don't need any players, except for there is a rumor. And the rumor out there is Monblano. So take it with a boulder-sized grain of salt. And I understand a lot of people have turned heel when it comes to the situation in Monblano. I'm holding firm of I don't believe a word. I don't believe a word of what he says. And the reason I say that is because if you look around the way things have gone with Monblano, the only thing he's really gotten right is that Di Maria wanted to come. And that was like a 50-50 shot anyway. Or not that he wanted to come, that he came. Because he didn't want to come. He wanted to go to Spain. But the situation as it unfolds, none of the other stuff has come. Like you can throw the Ronaldo, you can throw the Neymar stuff out there. That's fine. You can always caveat it with the idea that it's never going to happen anyway, or Juve aren't interested. Juve don't need him. Juve don't want him. Whatever. Just throw that out for me. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, Monblano is reporting saying the name of a player in the de Ligt deal that could be is that of Gnabry, which if you could get him, yeah, that would be a fantastic get. That'd be a really good get for Juventus, and it would be very beneficial to them. I'm not buying it. I don't believe that they're going to offer that. I don't think the move makes sense for Gnabry. I don't think he'd want to leave to go to Juventus, to be honest. We'll see. Something to keep an eye on, but also that throws a lot of other things in flux. Would I end up losing out on my boy Zaniolo? Something to keep an eye on, right? Something to keep an eye, because he is a winger as well. It depends what you're going to utilize Zaniolo as. Is bringing in another winger, would that cause any issues there? I would imagine so, but you never know with Juve what they do. All right, now let's get to the second half of this, which is, of course, to let go wherever you want to go. I mean, not really, but you make Juve their money. But now we got to replace you. And who do we go get? And obviously, target number one, to me, has to be that of Koulibaly. Romeo Gressi reports saying Juventus are ready to offer 30 million euros for Koulibaly. For the player, a contract of 6 million euros per season is ready. The willingness of the player needs to be understood. And that is very important. There's been a lot of rumors over here in the last few weeks to months of Koulibaly saying that he really doesn't want to go to another club that's not Napoli when it comes to the Serie A. He'd rather go abroad. We know that he has interest in Barcelona, but Barcelona can't afford anybody right now. So we don't really have to worry about Barcelona popping in, I don't think. We could be wrong. Especially for the price tag that De Laurentiis is probably going to jack up. In the situation where Juve offer around 30 million euros, my issue with this, and I understand you want to get a deal no matter what, you're not dealing with a sane person. You're dealing with Napoli. You're dealing with the Detroit of Italy. You're dealing with Swampman De Laurentiis. You're dealing with an insane person. And you're trying to work a deal with him. I'm sorry. I feel like you have to come correct when it comes to the situation. And I think you have to come to the table with the full offer. I think you put 40 million euros on the table and you say, get it. Here it is. This is what you're asking. Get it done now. I know regardless, more than likely, De Laurentiis is probably going to try to jack the price up. In his mind, in his non-sane, whatever, bleeped up mind, he's thinking, I can get 60, I can get 70, I can get whatever, yada, yada, yada. You have a player who's going to be able to leave on a free in a year. 40 million euros is probably too much, but the player is that good of a player that Juve are willing to pay that. Will other teams come in there? Other clubs that are interested? Will Chelsea come in? Will Barcelona, for some reason, be able to come in there? What other options? Will they come to the table? That's yet to be seen. But as it stands right now, to me, I feel like Juve. What's the point? He's going to go up to 40 at least in the next one anyway. There's no way you're getting it for 30. I don't believe it. Maybe I could be proven wrong if the will of the player is to be different. But I don't know what the idea behind this is. Instead of just coming full force to the table, this is what we're willing to pay the full amount, 40 million euros. We're gonna get that because of the Lakers to sell him, and I'm sure he's just seeing money signs in his eyes because he's thinking, oh, then Juve can afford more because they paid that, or they're getting that money from De Ligt. And my issue is, De Ligt is a more valuable player than Koulibaly. He's bringing in more money. He is worth more money. He's younger. He's got a full, career ahead of him. When it comes to Koulibaly, he's 30 years old. He's my age almost. And I'm just saying, at that point, he doesn't have the same value. So you can't. The two things are not equal. But at the same time, I still worry that this 30 million is not going to be enough. All right, let's move on, or let's continue on with this. With the next part being CalcioMercato.com reporting out there shortly after the meeting that occurred yesterday between his agent and with Juventus, saying that Koulibaly is open to joining Juventus and told Napoli that. So there's that. And shortly after, like a couple hours later, we had Gianluca Di Marzio, who came out with this report saying Koulibaly would not want to stay in Italy if he were to leave Napoli. Chelsea and Barcelona are also interested. So obviously the ones I suspected, Chelsea and Barcelona, are the ones to keep an eye on. But at the same time, now Gianluca Di Marzio is reporting that Koulibaly will basically say no to staying in Italy, which means no to Juventus. I want to say this. I don't know anything about Di Marzio anymore. I don't know him personally. I don't know his sources. If there's one thing that we can kind of take from the last year or so, or at least this Mercado, it feels like he kind of fell off when it came to his sources. He's kind of a little bit of a day late and a dollar short. So I'm going to take that with a grain of salt, saying that he's the one saying that Koulibaly won't want to stay in Italy. Because that was my feeling weeks ago. And that was the reports weeks ago. the reports more recently, Calciomercato, even though the source is the source, I think have really started to elevate a bit more there. So that's where I sit with it. We'll see what happens. Obviously, a little bit more negative than positive when it comes to feelings about landing Koulibaly. But at the same time, to me, if you're Juventus, he's the best option out there to replace the Ligt, especially right now when you're potentially looking at two guys, which I don't think they're going to be able to buy two guys this Mercado. I think they're going to get one guy, and I think if you're going to get one guy, I think it's got to be Koulibaly. If not, you got to figure out a way to go full force on Bremer. All right, and then last part of Koulibaly when it comes to this is Alfredo Padula, who basically just said Koulibaly is Juve's first choice. They want him at all costs. Well, again, like I said, come to the table with an all-cost price. 40 million euros is at all costs. I understand you never come the very first time with the full amount, but this seems like a situation that is not normal. This is not a situation that you can come and you can do your normal negotiations. This isn't Sassuolo. This isn't Fiorentina, or what I like to call them, Juve Junior. It's none of that. This is a totally different situation. He also goes on to say that Gabriel, Mangalaj, and Bajashile are the other names that are involved in this. It's a little bit better than Kimpembe. I like Bajashile. There's issues there because Allegri doesn't like to use younger guys. He wants more experience, yada, yada, yada. Gabriel Mangalaj is one that I don't really only be open to is if you're doing like an Archer swap or a situation like that. So that's the way I'll leave it there for now. Let's continue on. This next part is Gianluca Di Marzio, who came out with this, saying that during the meeting between Koulibaly's agent and Juventus, they met for him, obviously, but they also talked about Fiorentina's Milinkovic. I'm thinking Juve, if they were to make a move for Milinkovic, they're about a year late for that. I feel like last summer when you get him for 15, 20, whatever it was, it would have been a solid option that you could have used him as a backup, would have worked out well. Now you're looking at the whole situation as it sits right now. He's lost a lot of value. He's definitely, when it comes to, as a secondary option, fine. When it comes to the defender, it's not the way to go. If Juve were to go get Milinkovic instead of a Koulibaly, instead of a Bremer, instead of a Bajashile, we got a season ahead of us, and that's just that's the honest truth. And when I say that, it's not a good season ahead of us, right? So we'll see what happens there. Keep an eye on it. If they want to maybe bring in Koulibaly and then bring in Milinkovic as a second option, a cheaper option, I could maybe be sold that. And that'd be fine. But not as the guy. All right, last bit of news of the day. Let's talk about, we got Di Maria updates. First up, Gianluca Di Marzio has a report just saying what we already know. Pogba will be in Torino tomorrow. Di Maria is actually in Torino today. So I think he has his physical or whatever, medicals or whatever, on Friday, and then you'll have Pogba doing it on Saturday. And then the last bit is just from Opta Paulo, giving some stats basically on Angel Di Maria, saying 54, Angel Di Maria has been involved in 54 goals, 22 goals, and 32 assists in Champions League, more than any other members since Opta collected these data since 2003-2004. Elegant, so... Good things, obviously, that he's bringing to the club. Things that Juventus could definitely need and sorely need, given the situation that Juventus have been suffering through the last few years. So positivity there. All right, that'll do it. That's the news for today. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below on all the stories we talked about. What do you think about the defender option? Who do you think is Koulibaly the guy? Juve go full force and they actually land him? Or do you think we're going to have to look somewhere else? Let me know that in the comment section down below. Do you have a preference when it comes to where Ligt would land? Chelsea, Bayern, somewhere else? Anything else, let me know in the comment section down below. If you haven't already, make sure you smash that like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. If you haven't already, make sure you follow me at Justin Sofro, Twitter, to Facebook, or just Twitter for me. But if you want to follow Bianconeri Zone, follow Bianconeri Zone, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. I'll see you guys next time. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri.